Greetings, my name is Chaplain Reagan, and I'm one of the chaplains at Com Desert 1. I first want to thank you for being your ship's unit barrel at sea coordinator. I can imagine when you look back in your time in the Navy and think about everything that you had the opportunity to do, this is going to top the list as one of the most meaningful collateral duties, perhaps the most meaningful thing you did in the Navy. It is awesome in the full sense of the word to be at that location, to be part of this ceremony in which we lay someone who served before us to rest at sea. So what we're going to do for the next few minutes is just go through some barrel at sea training. For some of you, this might be a refresher. For others, this might be your first time in which you're exposed to barrel at sea. But I hope to provide you some major takeaways, some best practices to ease this process for you, to make it as easy as possible to get a win. So that's what we're going to do for the next few minutes. Unit Barrel at Sea Coordinator Training. For the next few moments, I'm going to take a look at the barrel at sea process overall, starting with the family request and moving to follow-up, in which you as Unit Barrel at Sea Coordinator ensures that the family members receive the packages you put together for them at the addresses that they provide you. Now at the end, we're going to take a look at some major takeaways. These are areas that I recommend you hone in on to ensure a successful barrel at sea. So let's start with the family request. When a loved one who served in the armed forces or their spouse dies and they specify they would like to be buried at sea, the family member has this conversation with the funeral home or mortuary to talk about next steps. And what they would do is that they would contact Decedent Affairs. Decedent Affairs is the office that will shepherd the family through the process of getting the cremains or the casket remains from the funeral home to the ship that will bury their loved one at sea. Now there's 3 such offices on the West Coast. There's one in San Diego, one in Bremerton, Washington, and the third one is in Hawaii. Decedent Affairs is going to have the families complete some paperwork, and after the family members complete this paperwork, they're going to mail it in or hand deliver it to Decedent Affairs along with the cremains of their loved one. Now these cremains must be in a biodegradable container. We no longer scatter ashes at sea. Now as a destroyer unit barrel at sea coordinator, you should not expect to receive full body casket remains. There are just too many space limitations on a ship that size. Typically the big decks receive full body casket remains. On destroyers, they normally receive anywhere from 15 to 25 cremains in biodegradable containers for barrels at sea. Oftentimes, family members make special requests on this paperwork that they send back to Decedent Affairs. These requests range from the cremains being buried from a specific ship to a specific location at sea. Now, some of these requests can be met. Many of them cannot be based on operational requirements. But once all the paperwork is verified as complete and accurate and Decedent Affairs is in possession of the cremains, then everything is ready for burial at sea from their standpoint. And at the end of each week, Decedent Affairs sends Third Fleet an email specifying the number of cremains and remains, full body casket remains, they have ready for committal. After Third Fleet receives this email from Decedent Affairs, they will then look at future operations to see if there will be a number of ships available for barrel at sea assignment. At this point, they will then reach out to the ISIC to nominate a ship to conduct barrel at sea. And once the ISIC provides Third Fleet a name of a ship that is available to do barrel at sea, Third Fleet then reaches out to that ship for tasking via naval message on SIPR. This message will include the number of cremains that the ship will receive for barrel at sea, and it'll also include a no later than date in which the barrel at sea ceremony needs to take place. Now, as the ship's unit barrel at sea coordinator, your responsibility is to oversee the entire process, from the receipt of the naval message to ensuring that the primary next of kin receives the packages you put together for them. Now, after you receive the notification from Third Fleet, you will need to contact the decedent affairs that is annotated in the message in order to schedule a day and a time to either have the cremains delivered to the ship or to go pick them up from decedent affairs. Now, in this process, I also highly encourage you go ahead and start working with the department heads and other individuals to begin to prepare a ceremony that is in compliance with the Third Fleet burial at sea instruction. And as you do so, create a POAM as well as draft a ship 50/50 in preparation for this ceremony and its aftermath. This is the Third Fleet instruction. It's Con Third Fleet instruction 5360 TAC 1 Charlie. I highly recommend that you have a copy of this saved on your computer, that you spend some time looking over this, because this will walk you through the steps to have a successful burial at sea. It also includes a number of go-by documents that will be helpful when we talk about the packages we'll send to the primary next of kin.